Hey guys, I'm Timo from Mixudio.com. I'm so glad that you're here, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Today we're going to be doing a drum mix. These drums were recorded in a church auditorium through a live console and behind some perspex, so a fish tank or a fish bowl, whatever you want to call it, for the drummer. Yeah, well, let's have some fun and see what happens with them. Alright guys, let's just jump straight into it. So as we can see, as I've already outlined below, we've got 7 tracks: kick, snare, tom 1, 2 and 3, and overheads. 3 overheads. I've already done a rough mix. I've already gained things up. As you can see here, I've clip gained them up so they're a little bit more louder because, well, like a live console, they're truly quite quiet. I've also created a rough mix so we can compare it later. So let's listen to the tracks as they came. Well, apart after I've gained them up. So as we can hear, the overheads are actually inverted like I normally have them. So you can see the toms go from right to left. So either it was a left-handed drummer or it was just set about for front of house purposes. Either way, I'm going to keep it as it was, and we can also hear how the overheads a little bit phasey between the hats. You can hear the hats are definitely on the right-hand side, but you can also hear a bit of the top end on the left-hand side. I think it's just come about because of the reflection inside the fishbowl. But anyway, we'll see what we can do with it. Try and make it punchy as possible without any samples, and if we need to, we'll put some samples in to make it sound like a real thing. So let's start with the kick. As we can hear, there's a fair bit of noise and rumbles and whatever else, so we're going to tighten that up with a gate. I'm currently loving the Avid expander, just the side chain is fantastic on it. A really tight, accurate gate. Trying to find the most obnoxious frequency of the drum. It's usually the most accurate we can get. So this is without the gate. With the gate. We'll just start off with that. Might not be perfect, but we'll just go with it. I'll just do a bit of gentle high passing, just to remove the very bottom, just the rumble that we don't need. And also now trying to remove that annoying frequency. Auto markup gain. I'm a bit lazy. So we've gone from this. I lost a little bit of level, but we'll soon make that up. My favorite. I love 1073s and 1176s on kick drums, or actually on drums in general, so you'll see me use them a fair bit. All right, getting there, but it's come from a live console. It's a little bit flat in terms of harmonics. We'll see what this guy does. Oh, subtle change. All right, let's go to the snare. The kick drum's somewhat getting there, but it will change as the rest of the drum kit comes in play. So I love using the Pro Q2 just to do some quick basic EQ to get rid of some rings and nasty frequencies. Actually, you can hear the hats are quite loud, so we'll use the Pro expander again to remove as much background noise as possible. Put it before the EQ, as that ring will actually come in handy in gating it. Still a fair bit of hats, but we'll see if that will work in the actual mix. Use lo-fi, just add a bit of distortion, a bit of grit to it. It does increase the level as well, so I will actually use trimmer after it to reduce the level down, otherwise get a massive increase in level. Still feel like I need more EQ to remove that ring. The effects on overheads now is they seem to take up a lot of space and masking a lot of the rest of the drum kit. Alright, good old friend Pro Q. I'll change the phase to natural phase just because I want to mess around with the phase between the kick and the overheads. Or just listen to the bottom of the kick drum, seeing if that got affected by the overheads, and around between here and 100 was okay. Anything lower, so I just mess up the bottom end, and a little bit higher. Again, just didn't sound that good. So around 8, well, it was actually at 80. Sounded pretty good. All right, we'll move on to the toms for the time being because they're not gated or edited, so they ring a fair bit. Whoops. Again, sidechain, find the most annoying, obnoxious frequency, and we'll get it from there. Now we'll just copy that to all the other tom channels. They'll be very, very similar. Just adjusting the sidechain on all these. Now what I normally do in every single mix, I actually group the toms together and process them as a whole. This almost becomes like a set and forget that I do. Just a bit of smiley face EQ from the get-go. Okay, then we'll compress them. This just kind of brings them forward in the mix, but also contains their level, so they don't really shift in level. And I'm thinking the Legacy. Listen to it in the context of the whole drum kit. A little bit too loud. Sound a little bit fake, but all right, we'll just work on that a little bit later. Extend that out a little bit more. All right, so what do we have now? We started here. I'm going to move on to the mix box next because that provides a lot of the character I get from a mix. So I normally start off always with tape. Turn it down just a smidge, increases level. And also console emulation. Little spinning wheel, it's always great. Together what these guys do. Turn it off. Starts adding harmonics in that don't exist in the original recording. And then I'll apply a bit of EQ. It's just a high pass filter, set very, very gently. Just tightens up the bottom end ever so slightly. My favorite compressor of all time. Just my rule of thumb is I know if I'm mixing roughly loud enough that about plus 4 dBu on this and these particular settings, I'll get about 3 dB of compression when the whole band's in, and we're almost there. That's just because I mix at a certain SPL level inside the room with a certain RMS. I know I can get that level almost every single time without fail. And then we'll just go smiley face it. So now all those plugins together. I want to compress the overheads just a little bit. They sound a little bit disjointed. Okay, next what I'll do, I'll actually add a drum subgroup. Because what this allows me to do is now easily create parallel compression paths and parallel distortion. So I'll set those up now. And I love an 1176 Rev A, all buttons in. Just sounds bonkers. So they'll get blended in. And I do drums dirt as well. And for this guy, I love the free plugin called Tube Saturator. And I use the EQ just to make it a little bit more woolly sounding. And then those two, the original, sound like this. I'm going to bring them up on my faders so I can actually blend them. So now I'll mute them. It's adding just a little bit extra of everything, but I'm still not happy with the kick and snare, how they sit in relation with the overheads. The overheads sound a bit more ambient. I'll just mute everything that we've done already. Whoops. Turn off all the processing. We're already a lot better shape than we were before, but what I'm looking to do is just add a little bit more space around the kick and snare, because they just sound a little bit disjointed. So first thing we'll try to keep this natural is create a room. I'm going to feed just the overheads of this. Make it pre. And like any good room, we'll make it a little bit more muddy sounding. Yeah, we'll just see what happens if we compress it hard. All right, that sounds nice and dirty. Let's see what happens when we bring the rest of the kit in. We could finish there, or we could just add a little bit, just a few samples to make our life a little bit easier. So what I'm looking to do is add space around the kick and snare. The fake room kind of helped, but didn't really do it for me, so pull up my friend Slate Trigger. And now, like I said before, I'm just going to look for some space. do the same thing with the snare. I'm also looking for a little bit more consistent sound. I don't want as much dynamics in the sample as I do in the real snare. Sounds fake, but I'll actually create a really nice back to the snare. So I'll blend with the original. Right, let's compare what we started out with and see what level we were. So it's a bit tedious, but we'll get there. It's good to know we haven't increased our level too much and it sounds more exciting. Right, there we go. A live drum kit recorded behind a fishbowl, and it still sounds okay. Now, we haven't heard any of the other tracks in the song, so we don't know if this is too bright, too boomy, too muddy, too whatever. This could be right for the song. It could be, this needs a bit more bottom end, needs a bit more top end. So that will come with the rest of the tracks in place. But I think it's a great starting point for a drum kit, especially the one that's been recorded behind a fishbowl. So do one more final A-B. This is the rough that we did ages ago. And there we have it. A drum mix done in about 20 minutes, whatever this is. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Don't be afraid to smash things with compressors or manipulate things with EQ heavily. And drum samples, they can be good, they can be useful, but knowing when to use them is probably more important than using them in the first place. Anyway, guys, hope that has been helpful and we'll see you next time.